hands tied or something. Can you confirm whether it's a thief or not?
With the tower. That's a yes, but it's someone with a major agenda.
Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. Hours after the live stream, a kidnapping victim and a crypto king make headlines in New York.
Queen of Swords is what I pulled. It's a thief. Someone getting away, escaping. Yeah, the Queen of Cups. Look at that crown. Surrounded by, valuables.
Do you think there could be a woman behind it?
Maybe. Look at this too. That old staircase. Something in the basement.
But is this crime an omen for a bigger headline this month? Find out in this week's episode.
Welcome to World Predictions and Royal Revelations. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. It is Friday, June 6th, and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot and I are here to read the charts and cards and review future news event, shocking royal events. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get an alert for our shows every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. GMT. And if you're new here, welcome to the show. The content here is for royal watchers and mundane astrology fans, but we also show you how to make your own predictions using astrology by teaching you how to review your own solar return chart, just like we do with the news makers and royals. And a special thanks to our replay crew and our members, the valedictorians, the Vals, who make this show possible. If you'd like to become one and support us, please click the join button and get some member-only content. Today, I'm going to have a Trump prediction, yet another one. And over the weekend, I'll be doing a composite chart for the members, Trump versus Musk, danger ahead. And it shows the exact predictions of when everything would be crashing down between these two, which is, of course, what everybody's talking about right now. We've been talking about Aquarius a lot. I just can't believe what the cards and what your intuition was telling us about the crypto king from Kentucky. What did you think about that?
It always surprises me, but it's like learning a new language and you don't always have the precise moment in time interpretation of it. And then it becomes super clear and makes so much sense. Yeah.
Oh, and that staircase, really, it featured so prominently because this victim, and we're seeing a lot of abuse right now because of two planets in Aries. So this guy, he was kidnapped, which was a big clue of yours. I was like, I wonder who's going to be kidnapped. I think it was for 18 days. Now, they were holed up in this very wealthy guy's Italian man townhouse. And in the basement was a stripper pole and lots of things that were going on down. But we did see that staircase. It was so prominent. I just wanted to mention we're going to see so much Aquarius coming up, especially this week in the news, electricity, anything from quitting and moving. It can be good too sometimes. Sometimes it's freedom. And it's nice to see people when they're released. And that's what happened with this guy. He actually unbound himself and made a big escape.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy. There he is, the crypto king of Kentucky. He's worth $100 million. And also, if you'll recall, back in our February show, we were talking about omens. And remember, one of our omens was Elon Musk's chainsaw. Yeah. So we could see a chainsaw coming, which he used in this sadistic effort to get a password for this wealthy man's crypto account. Lots of people talking still about P. Diddy's trial, so that's in the news. And in nicer news, it's now Sir David and Lady Victoria, which good for them. Look at that beard he has. I figured, what the heck? Let's look at David Beckham's solar return for when I'm sure he was probably told well ahead that he was going to receive this distinguished honor. What's really interesting about June 2nd, it's exactly a month after David Beckham's birthday. So we use it as a calendar. And so June 2nd would start, it was at the very end of Cancer. And right about here is when we would get into the Leo, the king zodiac sign. And sure enough, I'd say it was right as it hit Leo. The sun up here activates. And so even though it doesn't look perfect, and we should talk about that, it does look like he is getting something very distinguished. It's the 11th house is a hope and a dream. And of course, with a trine to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, it's something where people might be a little jealous of what you're getting. It can create jealousy. Maybe among David Beckham circles or Lady Victoria. We hope not, but it can also mean the way you look too. I don't know what a good word would be. Smoldering. Also, Mars here too. Mars is trining Saturn, Venus. I mean, look, this is very, very strong. And it's up here in his 10th house of career. So really nice. And his 10th house career lord, which would be Neptune, and it rules the MC. It is like, ding, they get it. He gets it. So let's see what his wife says. Oh, his wife's up there too. Oh, she's all about it. She is in there. So I thought that was kind of cool the way that worked right as he got into the Leo. And so not only do you look for the planet that's in the house, but you also look at the house lord. Notting Hill residents are painting homes black to keep influencers away. Isn't that interesting? Wow. Saturn is black. Neptune is an influencer, and they both are conjunct right now. It can show, keeping the influencers away. It shows influencers' despair, sometimes death of influencers. And I know I sound morbid here. 2 influencers died in May 2025, then another one in June. There's something happening here. Influencers have to be careful, but this is Valeria Marquez, a 23-year-old beauty influencer, was shot and killed in Mexico during a TikTok live stream at her beauty salon. So we're seeing this like influencer stuff. Also, I just happened to see the King of the Hill and Parks and Rec actor shot dead. King, Leo, and Parks, which also represent Leo. And it's sad. He was a voiceover artist. Look at all that hair. So Leo. And also, I just wanted to mention this really quickly. When I was talking about, it was the last Putin show I did, Russian state media stayed studiously quiet on the attacks at first, with primetime Sunday TV shows merely quoting statements by regional authorities. By Monday morning, the story had disappeared from the bulletins on the internet, and beyond Ukrainians celebrated with one lauding the operation as titanic. I thought that could be, we've been talking about a big boat and how there might be something coming up with regard to the Navy or some kind of big news story with a large ship. I'm going to just mention these silly examples of omens, and then I'm going to come back to you because I want to see the read that you got for this week. But how funny when you think about omens. There's you always have a story. You could think about, oh, I should have looked at that one. Well, in this case, this is a fun omen. This is a sign or a symbol. And John Taylor of the band Duran Duran, do you know what street that he lived on?
Oh gosh.
He lived on Simon Road. And being Simon Le Bon, which he was a big singer at his church. He was a poet, very, very, very talented person. And Nick Rhodes lived down the street from Simon Road too. So they both could say that they had a sign right near them. It's kind of cool.
I have heard more of Duran Duran on my social media for the last week than I've heard in 10 years. They're everywhere.
They're having a renaissance. I love it. And then this is just a random omen. Remember we talked about the oranges in the street and how there's something about juice or maybe something that's going to be in the news. Well, I'm putting this together, and I wonder if it has to do with race relations. In the 90s, Latasha Harlins, 15, was fatally shot by a Korean shop owner, Soon Ja-do, over a bottle of orange juice. It became a major spark for the 1992 Los Angeles riots. And of course, things that are orange are Leo related.
Yes.
And this was really coloring the sentiment of the people right before the OJ trial. OJ, orange juice, the juice, and also just abusive things like not only race relations, but domestic abuse too. And here's one more omen. How weird is it that OJ, who has a lot of Scorpio in his chart, he would star with the star of Bewitched, also Scorpio, in a made-for-TV special, A Killing Affair. Okay, a blonde lady that he has an affair with, and she's single and a cop. He's married, and her partner, their affair blows detective headquarters sky high. So the word detective would also be in the life of OJ because that's Scorpio.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Those are so random. I apologize. Now, if you're interested in looking at your own solar return chart, you're going to go to the last year you had your birthday, and then you're going to pull your chart using the solar only, not the solar in birth. All right. So before we get to omens and symbols, what do you have for us for this week?
I really have two things. Okay. Well, one, I did get a lot of 11th house. So when you talked about Aquarius, I wondered how that would show in the charts you've chosen. Okay. But I do have a lot of Cancer energy, the moon, the Cancer card, and Mars. And you mentioned abuse or something around abuse. So I have these three cards, some kind of message around domestic, something with domestic anger, something like that with headlines. But the big headline I could see has to do with someone, potentially, there's two messages. Someone who might be a real estate mogul. And the star in reverse came out multiple times. But ultimately, with these two cards, the message was sort of twofold. A real estate mogul falls, or it has to do with someone of prominence losing a home. There's some kind of like the word eviction or, foreclosure, some kind of headline around someone massively wealthy, King of Pentacles, someone who's built a lot of wealth, who loses it all and has to start over. So we might see something around real estate and someone sort of losing real estate.
Well, that's all about Trump and his cronies. So I'm not sure if it might apply to that. And Brenda, you said, wait, that movie was called A Killing Affair. I know. Can you imagine? So it was all right there about to play out for OJ and his wife. Hello, Jan. Nice to see you. Welcome. And thank you, Kate. Yeah, we just talk about random thoughts and try to teach astrology and tarot at the same time. I've learned a lot from you about the tarot cards, what they could mean, and also how we can apply them to mundane astrology. So it's really fascinating. Oh, wow, Buckeye. You said John Taylor just sold his Los Angeles home, moving back to England. A lot of people are doing that. But is it a good idea? We won't know. Maybe for another year or not for some Americans, because both countries are going through sati right now. So sometimes it is a better move. Sometimes you just have to get out when you're just not satisfied with where you are. Hello, Marie. And also, Michelle, you said, I think one of his sons has split from older girlfriend as well. Yes, David Beckham, right? Yeah. And hello, Toy. And Met's here. Elfaz is here. Okay. And thank you, Angel. Yes, everybody remember to hit the like button. It helps us out a lot. All right. So we had that omen of the two birds. And I know of a wives' tale or a myth or something where if you've got birds in your attic, it's bad luck. And I know firsthand that is true. So think about it. If birds are just let loose on a plane, like what we were talking about last week, which happened on a Delta flight, I wonder if that was maybe the chaos that would happen from an Aquarius related type of person, which was Elon Musk. You have two birds flapping around. People are trying to figure out what the heck is happening. And I thought it was also interesting too that last week I was talking about Scorpio, which we're going to see Scorpio themes, and what has everybody been talking about? Duchess Meghan Markle twerking in her delivery room. And my first reaction was I laughed. I was like, oh my God, that's too funny. But I'm sure a lot of people are not thrilled about it.
Yes.
But lots of Scorpio. So we got a real taste of Scorpio in these past 7 days. Just wanting revenge, betrayals. Trump is going through a betrayal in a sense, and Elon feels he's going through a betrayal. So we're really getting that Scorpio energy, and there she is. And I wanted to also mention that we were talking about the Crypto King in the May 25th show. So we would look at Virgo. Virgo's right here. And we're going to look at Mercury. This is basically us.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a lot of financial things at that point. The sun, that can show to Mercury blondes, talking about ninth house related subjects, which would be the news. Oh, by the way, we have Taurus Moon Tarot in the mix. And so interesting, there's a trine to part of fortune in the 12th house showing that you got a real insight in what nobody else could see. You were able to see something Virgo related. Virgo, I think we're going to start seeing more and more as the information comes out, but it does mean information. It is Virgo ruled. And we also have a grand trine going through what we were talking about. Uranus would be the future of something as well as crypto. So this was a lot of money. And unfortunately, we weren't talking about our own billions, but we were talking about somebody who did have a lot of money. So I thought that was really interesting, but I'm not done yet. And there we are. There's the ascendant, that we're there because the ascendant Lord is Mercury. But what's up at the top? An Italian, this poor Italian, and he's the victim. And so in that T square, you could see that Aries there in the mix, which when you have so much Aries and there's a lot of oppositions and squares, poor aspects, this is just plain old abuse. And so now we're getting into this area of the UK solar return, and this opposition is coming in. This is something that's kind of shocking here. It's probably, it's Sag, so it's probably going to be the tabloids. But we'll have to see what that is. The 12th house, and I've got an example here, and then I'm going to ask you what this is, but the 12th house is what you can't see. Okay. It's coming, and it's like it's a missile, and it's going to the 6th house. So this is the 12th house of the 7th of the allies. So something that the allies can't see if we're talking about mundane astrology, but this is pretty famous because of the moon there. So much Taurus, could be financial, but it's a shocker. And it is coming up between, and I've asked you about the cards for this before, but since we're getting closer to it, on or around June 14th to 17th, this is pretty devious here. What do you think it is?
Just going to turn. It might have to do with the royal family.
Whoa.
That was Cookie. That was her first clue.
Oh my God.
The dog she never barks. We've never heard her.
Thank you, Cookie.
Yes. I was seeing royal family. It's interesting because there's an alliance. I think you said that, but I keep getting that word. It's like 3-party alliance or possibly a 3-party circumstance. Let's get one more. What is the devious part of this? Ooh, yeah, this is devastating. That 9 of Swords is somewhat, Yeah, this is a resurgence of something from the past. This is someone returning to stir trouble. A lot of times, sometimes people can think about this as like the witches, around the cauldron. They could be viewed as that, these three ladies. So it's like someone stirring the pot behind the scenes, casting a spell.
Could it be an accident because Uranus is in the mix?
I mean, the Five of Swords is a fight. That's
Okay.
a fight. It could be a physical fight.
Okay.
It can involve weapons.
Yes.
Yeah. And the King of Swords for me is the confirmation with sword on the swords. So, it's interesting. These all have mountainous, cold energies around them, like Everest or somewhere cold and high.
Okay.
It reminds me of the when the gondolas falling, or like an accident like that, or mountains.
Yes.
But a place that's very cold.
Sag also means the U.S. too. So there could be something shocking that happens where everybody's talking about the U.S. So
yeah, it makes me think Cold Mountain, which I think is a movie, but
yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time.
Yeah.
And Marie Abella, yes. And Jan, you said we were talking about Scorpio. So you're saying UK tax rises. John Taylor might regret moving here. I guess we'll have to see. Bethany, you said hello. And Broken Blue Blood is here. Well, hello, darlings. Hope everyone is well. And Jen, you pulled the Hierophant in reverse, England's royals in shock. So maybe that's the thing. We're seeing some really great things happening for Leo types of people, even though Taylor Swift isn't necessarily a Leo. She's South Node in Leo. She just bought back all of her albums. So that was a huge win for that kind of Leo energy, the Queen. So that's one thing. And it could still be English, but we're definitely getting that royal energy. Jan, you said Wales well represented here tonight. Harry and Meghan did the baby mama dance. That's right. Yeah, because that's what it was called at the time. So it was a trend everybody was doing. And Buckeye, you think John got American citizenship a few years ago. So, well, I guess he's got both. John Taylor of Duran Duran, of course. And Bethany, you're in mid-Wales. Oh, we're going to have to plan a trip to Wales.
Yes.
And we'll have to do so because we know so much information. We'll have to put hoodies on. And
yes.
Jen, you said Camilla said to be booed today on her royal visit.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. And it's funny that you said that because I got a card. I got this card, Queen of Swords. I was like, give me something for this week. And I was thinking it would be some kind of queen. And there you go. It's this queen that we would be talking about, Queen Camilla. And Jen, wondering why she was booed. Yeah. Toy, yes, a Cookie concurs. I guess it was something about the royal family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Hierophant in reverse. Something is up. Camilla was in Hexham, Northumbria. There was a large Republic campaign turnout by the looks of it. Okay. And okay. So Bethany, you lived in Pembrokeshire many years ago. I don't even know how to say some of these cities. Jan, you said she was supporting a knife crime charity. Okay. Interesting. And so you said, I'm waiting for Taylor to get back with Joe Alwyn. He's the disruptor for Travis. I really like Joe. It's a real shame about that. Yeah. Okay. Now, on to the next one, but we're going to keep an eye on this. This is definitely lowering the boom here on someone, and it's going to be a pretty big, it's mean, nasty. Could be somebody gets in an accident and hurts their leg, Sagittarius's leg, and it's right at the end of Taurus, and that is Algo. So that's hopefully not. That's the Medusa point. Just so that we know sometimes goes on in the background is the 12th house. This is a chart for the week. I pulled it for September 1st. It was actually September 7th that it happened, but it was on a Sunday, just like we're doing here. And the chart was for Gemini. So the Blitz bombs, just one after another, Germany hitting England. And you can see England there with that Leo right there. And Leo is really getting hit here. These are many, many bombs. Jupiter is many, Uranus is bombs, and Saturn is for a long time. And so it must have been a real hard thing to live through. And it would have been September 7th. So you'd have to count all the way around to the days. And then you would get to September 7th. Jupiter would be ruling. And so that's when the T-square would activate, when it was on the 7th. And this is our weekly chart. So now we're in, this is pretty big. This is pretty heavy because Pluto is within one. This is something in your face. When you have at least one planet, especially one close to the ascendant, this could be a nice surprise because of the blue lines, and a big shock because of the T-square. Pluto is somebody taking revenge in the worst way. It's the second house of finances. Could there be a female being an abuser or abused in this? As we saw with the Crypto King omen, what on earth is this T-square? And it looks like we could see it as early as Sunday. It comes in again on Monday.
I definitely had that female energy with the Cancer, the moon, that Mars element, like abuse. It's a theme in that original spread. So I'm going to clarify and see. The Hierophant, it's more of, this sometimes is religious establishment or organized religion, but I also sometimes see it as the firm, like someone said in the chat, around the royal family. Let's clarify that. Someone leaving? Oh, this is like a shocking secret exposed. 7 of Swords in reverse. I saw that earlier. And someone having to leave. Oh, yes, on the bottom. There's that card again.
They're leaving from the basement. Are we going to see another basement?
I don't know, but it is someone leaving due to, it's like someone gets exposed and they have to go on the run. They have to, escape, but it feels like they're connected to a large organization, large firm.
Oh.
And then the Tower. It's like a collapse. This is like a collapse of an organization. What do they do? What is the organization? 7 of Pentacles. It could be financial, but it also could be to do with all things Taurus in general. 7 of Pentacles is a Taurus card.
Could it be world markets?
It could be with the 7 of Pentacles. There's that yes card, same card you had. It almost could be an explosive, like insider trading, like Martha Stewart kind of something with a woman.
It could be an explosion.
Oh yeah, with the Tower. And you have Uranus, right?
This is big. Big. The only thing that throws me off is that there's that second house there, but maybe a farm, something like that.
That's kind of, or the agricultural, an industry. It's like an industry-wide collapse of some kind.
Because we're talking about a lot of airplanes too, because of Pluto in Aquarius. Are we talking about another like blackout or something that has to do with airplanes?
There's a, I almost feel like this card is saying your intuition is on the right track, and it causes a lot of despair. I said that 11th house, and look at that explosive thing, but I'm kind of connecting the mountains, the Aquarius, the up high, the cold, because I have Saturn with that. It does make me think of like a plane into a
And
mountain.
with Scorpio too, that can be something secret from the Middle East as well. That's our Middle East clue. So we'll have to see what that is. Jen says, could it be Andrew? That's possible. In the third house. Third house represents a brother. So, and Venus is in the mix here. So yeah, maybe a big revenge breakup.
Yeah.
That could be something. Toy Epstein connections. That's a good guess too.
Yeah.
Get the Seven of Swords reversed as well. Wow. Okay. And Rosie, nice to see you from Roslyn, Jersey, Channel Islands. It must be beautiful there. A lot of people like to watch us to wind down, except when we're talking about these events. We'll have to see though. UK Parliament uproar yesterday. Sarah Pochim, new Reform MP, asked PM Starmer if he'd enforce a burqa ban like EU countries. Zia Youssef, Reform chairman, resigned. Major backer left. This chart starts on Sunday, so maybe there's fallout about that. Maybe this could be a big strike from the Muslims. So many fire alerts on the London Underground. That's interesting. Venus, but there's a trine to part of fortune. That would show someone who is very successful, maybe even wealthy, like a wealthy woman who's part of this big shock. You notice all of this Gemini, which we're always talking about. Italy, twins, pizza, pasta, Italian things. Well, we've got a volcano going on here. We've got Mount Etna, and look at that Aries there. The Italians are hot, and it's also they're angry too. I would say be nice to the Geminis this week. Be nice to everybody, but particularly the Geminis, because they are feeling abused. And it's weird how Bezos, he's getting married, and it just happens to be in the middle of all this. Can you give us a card for the Bezos wedding, which I did a show on, but I'd love to see what you get. Is this going to affect their wedding? Because certainly a lot of news about Italy right now, even though it's Sicily.
Yeah. Is he getting married in Italy, I suppose?
Yeah, he's getting married in Venice.
Ten of Swords. Maybe something has to be delayed or stopped. Something might get stopped, or it's slowed down. Okay. It's like a flat tire of some kind. Knight of Cups. Yeah, that's someone who proposes. This is someone being engaged. That just confirms the wedding. But there's some kind of delay, or something is stopped.
And walking away, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In my reading for the Bezos wedding, I did get that Bezos was going to be upset about something. So I'm not sure what that is. Michelle, you said southern Italy has many volcanoes and unstable land, which is not being reported. Yes, if the volcano spouts, air traffic stops. Yes. And I'm glad you mentioned that too. Can I ask you, Amber, we've got so much Gemini, and I wonder if there's a second volcanic explosion.
Oof. I mean, that's a yes card. The Fool.
Yeah. So we're seeing that Gemini, the twins. So we're going to see a twin of something, or the twins get stuck, something like that. We might even see something stateside where it's like the twin cities, things with twins or double. Michelle, you said, do you think the Trump-Musk saga is staged? I don't. I think it's a great card to pull. I think it's real. I think it's out of control.
It is. That's actually this all as it should be. So to the question, this is a yes card, but it does feel by design. The universe is putting this forward for a greater purpose. So it's playing out as it should.
I feel like it's crisis management 101, and it's chaos. It is absolute chaos, especially with nobody wants any references to being in the Epstein files. I can't imagine anyone co-signing on that strategy. And Brenda, you said maybe Lauren Sanchez is spending too much money on the wedding. That would make anyone angry, even Bezos.
It almost feels like someone, like maybe a powerful couple, can't attend. I did get that at the very end. Like someone can't go or doesn't go, and that's sort of maybe delays it.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep, that's right, Jan. Putin offered Elon asylum. So it's throwing the whole duo of Trump and Putin into chaos. Like the cards are being reshuffled.
Yeah.
And Bezos is waiting on prenup to be completed before wedding. He's cutting it close. I didn't know that. That's good information. So much Gemini, twins, also represents documents. Can't sign the document, can't sign the prenup. Then the volcano erupts again. But on the nice note, there is something nice for Geminis. We've got Mars and Leo. We also have something that makes you feel good when you've got a nice aspect to Chiron. You're healed, you feel good. It could be something that has to do with maybe a royal announcement. So what do you think about that, Amber? Could we have a royal announcement on the week of June 8th? And let me think when it could come in. Maybe Sunday. It could be as early as Monday.
It's fascinating. Gemini card. Again, that Queen of Swords, and it's a yes. It's about saying something. It's about a message, and it's about information being distributed, communicated.
It makes me think about Princess Catherine, but I looked on her diary. She doesn't have anything coming up, even though she is actually, it's being reported that she is working. She has a charity that is near and dear to her about pre-K children. She is working, but she does not have anything that's like on her diary.
It could be social media announcement.
Okay.
Social media.
Twin Queen of Swords tonight. Yes, exactly. Could be Camilla.
And I've just got Two of Swords. Who said that in the chat? It's two.
That's Jan.
Twin. And then I got the two with the Queen of Swords. Wow.
Jan, Elon canceled Dragon space program. How will the astronauts return to Earth? You want to pull for that one?
Whoa. I had not heard that. Queen of Wands. Someone makes something happen. They will return. And the Six of Cups is a return.
Thank God. Thank God. Okay. Keir Starmer's solar return. We have Mercury about to activate. Mercury is going to square Uranus in Algol. It could be a second fire. So he's got to be real careful on his properties, but it's going to start activating, I want to say probably on or around June 9th or 10th, somewhere around there. What do you think? It's a shock. It's definitely a shock that Keir Starmer is experiencing in early June.
Look at this. It looks like they're setting something on fire.
Oh my God. So they're not done yet.
No. It looks like arson in this card. That's not what the card means, but it's a group working together to light it up.
Now, if you got that card personally, it would be kind of like people are competing.
Yes. Yeah. And the other card I didn't share is this. I had to show you that image. It almost resembles that staircase card, but look, the round and round, meaning a repeat of something, a recycle, repeating. So,
okay. Yeah, it is quite a shock to Keir's career because it's right there. It might even be a shocking because it's Mercury. It might even be a shocking announcement that people are not expecting. Sometimes with the seventh house, this could be an employment contract, or it could also be a breakup with an ally. And the big thing that's coming in July is all this Libra. He's got a bunch of kind of devious politicians coming in. So we're going to talk about that next week. And here's Prince William's solar return. We're trying to figure out a couple of things before we get to the woman. This is the last days before his next solar return chart. And so it's really interesting with those planets there. And by the way, before I forget, if you're interested in getting a solar return reading, or if you'd like a reading from Amber, you can go to my website or email Amber. And so this is Jupiter here, and Jupiter rules the 6th house for Prince William this year, and that represents either health or a coworker. And so there is something here that could be an angry coworker, could be feeling pain of some sort, maybe physical pain. Well, this is right before his birthday. And there's that Cancer again. It's funny that you got that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Let's see. It's health. The nourishment card. This is about health.
Sometimes that can mean inflammation. It can mean something with your head. And we've been seeing that for Prince William, like a headache.
Yeah. Okay. He might actually find a solution to something around his health with the Ten of Swords. Or he could feel betrayed by his health, something that just doesn't go well.
Okay.
We saw that head injury before too, I think.
Oh, that's right. That is right. And so just to be clear, the 6th house is ruled this year for Prince William by Sag. So we would go over and look and see where Jupiter is, and that's going to be activating as we get close to his birthday. I'd say, let's see, it's the 6th. It's pretty much in the next few days that something is going to happen, but it's also something about his career. Maybe he's choosing not to attend. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
And then there's Princess Catherine's chart. Here is this female here. The female is at the bottom. And we're coming into around this period for her. So she's January, February, March, April, May, June. Gosh, what was her birthday again?
January 9th.
Was it January 9th? So yeah, this is coming up right now. It's going to be Venus and then Mercury. 2 challenges, both Venus and Mercury are in T-squares. It is difficult here. They're trying to figure out something, but there also seems to be a female who really wants to get in touch with her husband. I don't understand. We've pulled on this before, but since we're getting close, who do you think this woman is to Prince William?
It feels like someone who might be in his finance department. That 4 of Pentacles. This is the person who holds the purse and holds the money.
So a fraudster, maybe.
Could be. Oh, there's that Queen of Swords again.
Yes.
Yep. Something. Yeah, it's like someone money.
Oh my God.
Let's see if it's... There's that headache card. This is, losing sleep over it. This is a tough energy around money. 9 of Swords.
It's almost like I can't believe this whole time that she was doing that.
Yes.
And
it's a worker. 8 of Pentacles.
Oh my God. And Gemini in a bad square shows a thief.
Yeah.
So going back to maybe this crypto king is some type of an omen of some sort that we're going to see June, July timeframe. Check Prince Catherine and Prince William, check in the finance department, right?
Yes.
And so that's all I have. But I wanted to ask one last question before we go. As far as London is concerned for this week, what good news do you have for us?
Okay, let's see. Aw, this is good energy. We love her, Queen of Wands in the upright. You've said this before with like a retreat, and she looks like she's in that Om pose, yoga, peace. But I do also see this as celebratory or festivals or things that are fun. Guy Fawkes Day is something around fun and fire.
Okay, great. And also, I should say too, with females, if we're going to talk about females, we have this Venus here, and there are some nice trines here. And a couple of them. Well, there's one, and then there's a sextile. And it looks like groups of females are making money. So maybe
that's what I had on the bottom of the deck. I was about to share that it might have to do with women. This is powerful, independent, financially resourced women. Yes.
They're checking their documents. They're like, this is what we deserve. They're getting maybe something. Maybe there's some kind of new legislation or something like that. But That's good. We'll have to see what that is.
Sometimes it's single mothers specifically, that card.
Okay. Okay. Jan, you are asking, oh, shoot, I missed it. Lady Victoria Beckham. Yes. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Christine, about Beckham. And Elphaz, you said, I've been hearing about William being demanding and impatient boss. Can you see if he's setting a rival court to Charles? Friction between father and son. Sure. What do you think, Amber? Is there going to be a rival court?
Oh, these two together are very interesting. Yeah, this is like rile people up and it causes some heartburn. It's, you know.
Maybe some favoritism. Everybody's ready to celebrate William or something like that.
Yeah.
And Jen, you were saying about Angela Rayner, Deputy PM. And I guess let's ask one more question. Will Starmer be at conflict with Angela Rayner over the newly allegedly destructive employment bill to save his own bacon?
That's a yes card in the upright.
So
this is
Angela's
doing it at all cost. Yes.
I wonder if that's Angela there because Venus is conjunct Chiron in Aries. This is an angry woman.
Ooh.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe she's demanding a resignation or something like that.
Yeah.
So well, thank you, Amber. Thank you, everyone. We've had fun trying to predict the next week, and we hope you can join us for next week's. I'll also be on one more time. We're going to be talking about Trump's prediction, and that's at 6:30 Eastern. So I hope you can join me then. Thanks, Amber.